Ahoy there.
Hey, you look comfortable.
I am. I'm going in cold. I'm just gonna wing it today.
You look like you have a cold.
No, I haven't been getting enough sleep.
I still can't join my own Hangout from my laptop.
Maybe you don't like yourself.
And I was really counting on it too.
What happens when you try?
The plugin eventually gives up.
But you can join other Hangouts with that machine?
Yeah. It's just for some reason when I try to join my own, when my own is running on a different computer, of course, too. But I'll try it. I'm gonna try it again, but it keeps failing.
You don't have like multiple Google Talk sessions open somewhere, right? On the same account?
No, but it might be running out of memory or something simpler. I might have it too busy. I'm gonna get out of.
Hello, person waving to us.
Hey, William, can you keep an eye on the chat room? Do you have access to it?
Are you talking about the Google chat or something else?
No, my chat room on Vidcast Network.
My daughters are fascinated with the fact that I do this with you guys, so.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
He's a celebrity.
Holy crap.
I'm willing to do it, but I need...
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Keith, I'm willing to do it, but I need instructions.
You go to vidcastnetwork.com. Hey, Danielle.
Good evening.
All right.
And underneath the calendar, assuming the calendar displays, because it hasn't been displaying today.
Chat room?
Yeah, chat room pop-out. That way you can close the other window and all that kind of stuff and free up the bandwidth.
You know what you need to do, Keith? You need to make chat.vidcastnetwork.com and then just have it be just the...
No, I was going to make vidcastnetwork.com/chat.
Whatever.
I just haven't had time.
Do them both.
I could do them both. But the problem is when you offer more than one thing, is you can break more than one thing. Alright, let me see if I can join this Hangout again. Otherwise I have to give up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I still got room. It's probably going to fail miserably.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Who joined in? Let's see.
This is David.
That's David. David, you're half ahead.
He keeps crashing.
I keep switching between different things. Some days Firefox will crash, some days Chrome will.
So I'm on the dev channel of Chrome right now, so hopefully I'll be all right. My router died.
I was using the dev one for a while, but then they upgraded the plugin, and I said, shoot, I better dump it.
Yeah, so I'm operating on a new router tonight, so there is a chance that something could go wrong.
Oh, Lenny made it in. No audio, Lenny.
Okay, so let me get my introductions ready too. Let's see, Dave Pfeffer.
What the heck was that?
That was me.
Was it an IM coming your way?
No, it's just me.
Something he ate.
Dave's sitting there with a blanket on. My pool is 90 degrees.
Your pool is 90 degrees?
My pool is 90 degrees.
Where do you live?
Right here in Orlando.
You know, it must put the people in alphabetical order at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the on air is in order of who joined.
I'm gonna starting the on air right now. No, this isn't on air, Dave.
No, I'm saying the on-air version that people will see streamed is first come.
It's in a different order?
Yep.
It's also flipped mirror image sometimes, too, I've noticed.
Well, you should always see, so the way you see yourself is not the way everybody else sees it.
No, but when you watch the on-air recording on YouTube, it will be inverse. It'll be a mirror. The right, because I can tell easily by my wall and all the writing on it.
Yeah, you should be able to read your writing.
No, it's backwards sometimes.
That's weird. That is odd.
I can read Mac Mini behind you.
Yeah, but we'll see how it is in the final
Right.
We can find out right now.
recording. That will be goofy.
I'll let you know.
All right, I have got to get myself a big TV behind me. I am just so
I
jealous.
need one too. I need one in front of me.
Yeah. You're flipped the right way, Keith.
Yeah, but this isn't the recording.
No, I'm watching the on. I can see the on air in your stream.
Well,
Yeah, to us it looks right here, but like you said, it might be different on the final recording.
Well, I don't think the recording is going to be any different from the on air version that's playing back in his stream right now.
I don't know.
That's what's
at this point
recording.
in time, I'm not gonna say just anything about it.
But you're seeing yourself in reverse right now, right, Keith?
Yes, I am. However, when I do for the Vidcast network recording, I switch to my studio camera, so it's not as noticeable, no matter what's going on. Alright, we'll be ready in a minute here.
All right, let me sit up.
I like the blanket.
I actually,
You guys want me to hang out in blanket mode?
I scheduled the tweets in advance, so I didn't have to bother with them.
That's smart.
Making me sit up.
I'm just doing the Google
guy.
Plus post right now. You guys can reshare this. A little slow. This computer's a little busy.
Admiral Akbar?
It's
Oh
a
my
trap.
God, Keith! I've already got that set up for to show.
Oh, you were going to show it on your desktop? You
No,
have the
I don't. I don't have my desktop with me right now.
I'll show the video. I can actually play the video.
Awesome. I linked a couple of videos on my Google Plus to reference.
Where the heck is my pre-written?
I did not bring anything for show and tell.
Keith, what do you use for Twitter?
TweetDeck.
Okay, that's what I use.
And you can schedule tweets using TweetDeck. You
I
know, my
do that all the
Air app or the
time.
browser?
my prepared Google Plus post scrolled off the screen. I don't know if I can find it now.
There's an extension, Keith, that you might like that you can type like a post and then hit save, and then later on you can reload that
Do
in.
you use that?
I tried it once. I don't really need it, but it sounds like something that you could use.
I don't use it.
Or you could just pre-write it and paste it in.
Yeah, that's what I should have done. The trouble is,
You do the plus mentions?
I don't have the Hangout, the on-air Hangout link until the last minute. No, because that's when it goes out. Shoot. Somebody else is probably going to have to do a Google Plus post then.
I think I did it already.
Well, what's the matter?
I can't find my post, so somebody else will have to create one.
You made the post, didn't you?
I posted one, Keith.
You did?
A link to the.
Yeah, she did, and I shared one as well.
I had a really good one all prepared, though.
Oh.
Shoot. That throws me out.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, mine's not all nice.
Mine just says show starts in a few. Vidcast Network.
Yeah, no, I had the most of the cast listed and everything. It's a pretty good post.
Never write your drafts on a plus message.
I learned that now.
I do
Right.
Google Docs. I can do Google Docs, and then I do the plus symbol and then the ID number, and then that'll auto-resolve when you paste that in to Google Plus. That auto-resolves to the plus mention when you post a message. It converts it.
I'm gonna have to trust you guys too. All right, I'm gonna find. Well, the on air is in my stream. I don't have to reshare that. But.
Right, that's what I shared, was just the on-air.
Yeah. Okay.
All good.
It was almost flawless today. Had to be some little glitchy little thing.
Well, you could spend a minute and rewrite it.
No, I don't have the time now because it's after 9. So, all right. So, let me. I'll give the intro, and then we'll do the introductions, and then. Rick, are you on a time schedule? We'll start with the April Fool's stuff first.
Okay.
Unless you're hurting.
I gotta go. I've probably got about a half an hour. Oh, Lee Kitchen's on. Nice.
Lee Kitchen's here.
Well, look who it is. Hey, how you doing? Good, man. Hey, Lenny, what up?
How's it going, sir?
I actually know people in the Hangout. Keith, that's nice, man.
Yeah. We're just about you popped in. We're just about to start the show. We're running a little late, so I'm gonna do the intro.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a.
And then I'll do the
I don't have a fancy
introductions.
microphone that works.
Do you have the video playing in the background, Lee?
When I mention
Do I have
you,
what?
you just tell us who you are and what you do and how people can find you. That's all.
Do you have the live stream playing in the background or something, Lee?
No, I don't have a microphone, and you guys probably would prefer me if I use a microphone, wouldn't you?
Well, headphones would be more important.
Headphones would be beautiful. Okay, stand by.
So we only want to spend 15 minutes on the April Fool's stuff. So that
Good. I hate
okay,
April Fools.
15 minutes or less.
I was so happy April Fools was on a Sunday
I was so happy it was over.
because it means everything was fake on Sunday. So it's like nobody's releasing real press releases on a Sunday.
Yeah, nobody's
Right.
gonna ever release truth anymore on April 1st because you can't.
Even better.
But let's save all that. All right. So
I come prepared.
testing 1 2. Testing 1. There we go. Okay. You guys ready?
Guess so.
Lee? Earth calling Lee.
Yeah, what's up? Can you hear me now?
Are you ready? Can I start?
Yeah, can you guys hear me all right?
Yep.
And no echo in the background? Awesome.
Okay. So I'm going to start. Let me cue up the intro here.
All right, ready.
This is Tech Plus, Episode 5 for Wednesday, April 5th, 2012. Hi, this is Keith Barrett with the 5th episode of Tech Plus here on Google Plus Hangouts. And we have a great cast with us today. We have a full house, and it's not even a man cave today because we have Danielle with us. So we're going to start off with introductions. First up is Chris Porter.
Hey, I'm Chris Porter, a home audio video integrator in Columbia, South Carolina. You can find me here on Google Plus or at betterviewing.com.
And then next up we have Danielle.
Hi, I'm Danielle Bowers. I am a writer and an amateur photographer. You can find me here at Google+.
And then we have Dave Veffer.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dave Veffer, IT guy / amateur photographer / whatever you want me to be. You can find my profile at plusdave.com.
And then next up is David.
Hi, I'm David Hinson, Chief Information Officer at Hendrix College.
And then Lenny.
Hi, Lenny Fontes, HR/IT guru for Disney Parks and Resorts. You can find me at Twitter at Len Fontes.
And then the ubiquitous Rick Betteridge.
Hi, I'm Rick Betteridge. I'm with Walt Disney Parks and Resorts in Information Technology. I can be found on Twitter at rbetteridge or here on Google+.
And then last but not least, we have William Beem.
Oh, thank you. Hi, William Beem. I'm a Central Florida-based photographer and author, and you can find me at williambeem.com.
No, don't forget Lee Kitchen.
Yeah, Lee Kitchen's in the house.
I had you written down too. I'm sorry. And finally, Lee Kitchen, because he popped in at the last second there.
No worries. Hey guys, I'm Lee Kitchen. I'm also with Walt Disney Parks and Resorts, and I work for the destination marketing team.
Cool, and hopefully we're planning to have Lee on a future episode where we're going to talk about some creative technology and applications. So thanks, Lee, for popping in at the last second there. So first up, this show is predominantly about two things. First up, we're going to talk about the Sunday, April Fool's Day, which I'm beginning to find a living hell on the internet.
Ooh, April Fools.
Because you can't find any truth anymore. I pretty much don't believe anything I see anywhere, which means I'm not going to fall for any pranks anymore. But it also means if something really happens, I will never see it. And we had a couple of pretty interesting ones out there. Some people use it as an opportunity to say jokes. They didn't really do good products that made you wonder if it was true or not. It was obviously a joke. It was an opportunity to do some humor. But Danielle, you did some research into what some of the most popular ones were, right?
I did, and there was one that actually did stand out. WestJet they're an airline, and they did a promo video. If you look on my Google Plus page, you see it, advertising their new program called Cargo Kids, where you can board an airline and check your children into the cargo bay.
That was really cool.
And have a child-free flight.
That sounds wonderful.
When you check your bags, you put your kids into the child toboggan for a ride down the belt.
Awesome.
And pick them up later.
So is it $25 a kid, just like the baggage fee?
I think it might have been a little more.
Only that depends if they're overweight or not.
That's funny.
That one really, I think that got a few people disappointed at first, thinking, oh, child-free flights. That would be awesome.
And then Think Geek does it every year. And they usually do some fake products, and they've caught on that sometimes their fake products are actually pretty good.
And sometimes they make them real, right, Keith?
Yeah. One year they did the turn your iPad.
Yeah, and the iPad game system, which I actually presented as real, and Keith called me in front of 60 people and told me it wasn't. But then they made it real, so it's all better.
They made it real because it was super popular. And so it's becoming. So now they caught on to that. So now they even say if you think any of these should be real, vote on them, that kind of thing. So the one of the more interesting ones that they had, if I can bring it up here on my desktop share, was the Necromancer digital hoodie, which I thought was the best one out of they gave, where the hood actually glows on the inside. This came recently with all the news concerning hoodies. At least in Florida, there was a story about somebody getting killed and followed because they were wearing a hoodie. But this looked like a pretty good product. I'm wondering whether this one actually will become a product or not.
Dude, the Star Wars Admiral Ackbar singing bass was pretty much one of the best.
That's the next one.
The commercial they did for it was hilarious.
There's a video for it. Did you see the video for it?
Yeah, it's really funny.
There's here it is, with Darth Vader enjoying the video. Darth Vader enjoying.
It's a twap.
Mm-hmm. Hey, need to add that one to my collection.
Oh, we can't hear it though. I'll have to work on it next time. So we can see it, but we can't hear it. So yeah, he just shouts out, "It's a trap! It's a trap!" And let's see, anybody? Danielle, did you find any others that we should talk about?
Aside from the Think Geek ones, I didn't see any that really stood out. There was the Power Ranger fragrances. I don't know if anyone saw those ones. It's kind of lame, but.
Actually, one of my favorites was Scott Jarvie pulled a prank, but he didn't do it. He didn't do it serious enough for a lot of people to fall for it. He just did a little post saying, "Did you stay up and get your vanity URL from Google Plus because they released them last night?" And that caused a whole bunch of people to say, "How do you do it? I can't find it." He even gave a little instructions. Go here and click on your profile, and it didn't work. So I thought that was pretty clever. But that didn't catch on like the Admiral Ackbar thing did.
I guess what Google did, a couple this year, I think. They did the dual mouse thing, and they also did the tap tap Morse code Gmail.
Yeah.
And the 8-bit maps and lots of
yeah,
things.
that's right.
Oh yeah, the Google Maps.
That
Go
8-bit
back
maps
to
is pretty cool. Yeah.
1984. I thought that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, the 8-bit maps is pretty awesome, but it kind of does make you wonder what Google's doing with all their time when they have like 7 or 8 different April Fool's Day pranks to pull, doesn't it?
There's anything to stay inspired and stay creative. That probably helps them in their whole innovation process. Stop what you're doing, work on nothing but April Fool's stuff for a whole week.
Well, they got that 20% time.
And I think they think it's good.
Right. Exactly.
Well, they could have been working on it all year.
What about the taco copter? Did anybody find out what that? I mean, that initially came out on Huffington Post like a serious article, and then all of a sudden it was confirmed that it was a hoax. But I didn't know whether or not it was a promotion for something. Anybody hear that one?
I heard about it, but I didn't dive into it.
Oh, it was just funny. It was just some college students had invented a what do you call it? A hovering device that would bring you as a hit an app and it would drop you some tacos. It was pretty funny.
I think it's awesome. I think somebody needs to make it happen.
Yeah, come on. And then the competing Choco copter, Choco taco copter.
Actually, you could start that as a whole new line of business. Home delivery of food via a remote-controlled copter.
Yeah.
Right, via droids basically.
Yeah, until the Domino's
Yeah, but
helicopter crashes through somebody's
recon
window.
copter for traffic. I want my
Want them to
recon
bring me
traffic copter
coffee in
first.
the morning.
If law enforcement's going to make these things commonplace, you're going to see them all the time. They might as well deliver food to your house.
Exactly.
The military starts selling their old drones that they're not using anymore.
Right, they'll spy on us when they bring us breakfast in the morning.
So, the next thing we wanted to talk about was why we all got here, which was home media systems and internet television. So, first of all, I should ask, how many people in this room have cut the cable television cord?
Not yet.
I'm close. I'm
So just
real close.
Two of us would...
You got to do it before the season starts, man. You can't wait till if the season starts and water cooler shows start. You're totally doomed until the next season. So let me just give you some advice, because I personally had every intention to doing it, but as soon as my family got caught up in the season of any show that they were going to talk about the next day, Walking Dead comes to mind. But once that happened, it was doomed. We had to keep it. So.
Well, because of sports?
No, because of the water cooler stuff. I can't take it coming into work when everybody is talking about the episode of Walking Dead or whatever the show. When it was lost, right? And I'm sitting there going, blah blah blah. Don't say anything. I can't hear anything. So I know you are immune to that, Keith, but I can't have that. I got to be involved in the conversation.
Well, you can watch on air still, so you can watch ABC. You can watch the 5 networks plus a couple of independents all through on air in high def. I mean.
Yeah, but The Walking Dead is TMC.
TMC, yeah, well, that's where you start to get screwed, is when it goes to the cable to satellite channel.
Yeah, and a lot of them don't actually air it right that same night, though, too. A lot of them wait until the next day or 24 hours later. It's all very inconsistent.
So the biggest one I hear is sports, because there's really no internet.
That's what it is for me, is sports. Without live sports, the Watch ESPN app is great, but you have to have the ESPN subscription in order to use that app, which you can't get around it, unfortunately.
Well,
yeah, and if your internet provider like Bright House doesn't allow you to have ESPN3, then you're pretty much screwed there too.
Right.
And there are some sports on Apple TVs, like you can get MLB or NBA on there, and I think they require a subscription as well. But personally, I have no interest in sports, so that part doesn't keep me there.
Yeah, me too. It's not a deal breaker for me, but that's a huge untapped opportunity for somebody to create. It must cost a fortune in licensing, but eventually some internet site will solve that and provide live sports.
My biggest problem is that cable is included with my homeowner's dues. So if I want to unplug it, it's still there.
Yeah, you're not saying.
Well, but you mean you're forced to pay for it, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I have no choice. Right? So then you start going, okay, well, do you want high def on this big TV that you have sitting here, or do you want it to look like absolute garbage,
Well, high def antennas these days are very inexpensive. In the Orlando area, they happen to work pretty well. So if you're interested in high def, take advantage of the free air. You actually get a better picture.
I do have
Lenny,
that.
do you do that with would you do that with a program like Media media center or something like that to combine it with the DVR? Or do you have another way that you combine it to do the DVR thing?
That's the downfall of it. We subscribe to the Bright House. I specifically do for the high def or the internet, the high-speed internet, the Lightning or whatever they call it, the latest version of it. But,
yep.
and we've got the other TVs in the house, and we kind of just let them run on the basic stuff. But I've got an HD antenna that I used to keep around when I had satellite, and I tell you, I get a better picture on the HD antenna than I do on the Bright House network.
So my Plex
Bright House Networks pushes that at 720, and I can actually get like 1080 through the HD antenna.
Nice.
You're getting an uncompressed signal basically from the over-the-air, whereas when they've got to send all those HD channels down that one pipeline, they've got to compress it a lot more.
So I mean, Rick quickly mentioned something that we were going to lead into, which is the technology alternatives for watching television. Specifically, Plex is the one that I use a lot. I know Rick uses it a lot as well.
Mm-hmm. Love Plex. Thank you, Keith.
Yeah. I mean, I have Plex at home, and Plex is a media server that will stream its content, and my content just simply does not include just the files that I have on it. It also includes little URL links to individual movies and television shows on Netflix and Hulu. So I have 300 television shows, and almost none of them are actually files on my system. They're all pointing to the internet somewhere else. And the app, this is the Android app. I can just pick whatever television show I want, click it, and when I click it, it'll either play here or it'll play up there, depending on what I select. And then the same thing here with the iPad. I have these are just all the television shows. Oh, that one I just clicked one, and it automatically downloads all the images, all the show descriptions, the show ratings for all the episodes. And there's a small little app called Plexflix that you can use to automatically add to your environment anything that you put in your Netflix instant queue, or anything that any RSS feeds from Hulu that you plug into it. So it automatically updates episodes of Family Guy and Saturday Night Live and things like that for me as well. So that's my whole environment. It works very, very well. I can't get it to play on the Roku, even though it's supposed to, but Rick does, right? Your Roku's working?
I do have it working on my Roku, yes. Now, I've got a pretty beefy server on my back end, though. My server is a quad-core system with 4 gigs of memory, but it's also running, I was going to mention, it's running Windows Media Center with ATI HDTV card in it. So it sits and records my TV shows for me, and then I can stream them through my Plex server to my Roku boxes.
Is that from your over-the-air? Is that from your over-the-air HD antenna?
Yes. Yeah. I live way out on the east side of Orlando.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to
the server farm, so I get really good signal.
And Plex,
nice.
Plex was originally for the Mac only, but now it's available on Windows and on Linux. However, the Linux version can't play Netflix or Hulu because there's a dependency on Silverlight, which doesn't run under Linux. So there's a lot of people getting around that by installing virtual machines on their Linux box and running Windows or something inside a VM to get around that. But Plex is an open source project that the changes and everything are all closed source, but it's a fork from a project called XBMC. XBMC, of course, runs on the Xbox, so you can do most of this stuff on an Xbox. In fact, there's even some themes and some plugins to make the Xbox version look like Plex. And, of course, there's Boxy. Boxy was another fork of the XBMC environment. So you actually have...
Is that with a hacked Xbox?
No, it shouldn't be. You have somebody's phone going off here. So you have a couple of choices how to do it. I think Plex is the most polished, and Boxy is the most plentiful. XBMC tends to be a niche. But and then on top of that, you have, of course, Apple Television and the Roku and Google Television. And Chris has a huge Google Television right behind him right now.
I do have a Google TV right behind me, and actually I have the Plex app. There is a Plex app for the Google TV here. I don't use Plex that much. I didn't realize it could do all the things that you were saying that it does. I knew that I could access my local media that was stored but I did not realize that I could also access basically bookmarks to Netflix or Hulu content and so forth and so on. So that's really interesting to me in that respect, because I don't really use Plex that much, because I don't store, for the most part, any actual files on a server anywhere. I pretty much just stream everything nowadays. I use Netflix or Pandora or Google Music. I basically have synced with my iTunes media server. So, you know, that's the way I do things nowadays. I don't actually maintain any servers or anything. I just let everything basically come to me from the cloud. The thing that I really love about Google TV, though, is three specific things. One is the fact that it's Android-based, which means I'm a huge Android fan and I live basically in a Google world. So I have lots of things in Google already. Every photo I take goes to Picasa. And with the Photos app here on Google TV, they're all instantly available to me. I don't have to ever upload anything to any server.
Oh, that's the best. I
don't have to do anything. So everything's right here. You know, even pictures I haven't posted are here for me to enjoy if I want to. A few months ago, back in December, I showed some things that you could do with the Google TV, and I'll bring up a screenshot here for you guys. Because it's Android, you can pretty much run any launcher that you want to. Go Launcher works. Launcher Pro works. So you can set up your home screen exactly like your Android phone if you want to, where you have all your icons on there and run live wallpapers and widgets. To me, that is awesome. I love being able to stick the weather up in the top right corner and show me the 3 or 4 day forecast every single day. I think that's really cool. The other thing, because of the fact that it's Android, is you can actually sideload a lot of Android apps that people don't know about. Apps like Google+, Facebook, Dropbox is a great app for just getting APKs from your computer over to the Google TV itself. And then there's even games like air control and stuff like that that'll work fine on your Google TV. So the first thing I love about the Google TV is the fact that it's Android based. The second thing I love about the Google TV is that it's got Chrome built into it. You've got the entire internet at your fingertips, basically. And so, for instance, if I want to go to the Vidcast network right here, I can go to the Vidcast network and play any Flash video that I want to. How many devices can you do that with? Not many. So that's pretty weird. Okay, let's go
It's like the window into the abyss.
Right. Okay, so for instance, you know, I'm a big Twit fan as well. There's no Twit app for the Google TV, but as long as I can put a bookmark on my home screen, it goes straight to live.twit.tv and will immediately start streaming for me as though it's just a regular TV channel. And that's what I love. You know, my life really now is about streaming video, and I want to be able to access that content as quickly as possible. Okay?
The trouble is Google TV is only available as a built-in into televisions, right? You can't. There's no browser, WebKit, no plug-in for anything else to use it on your computer or your Mac or whatever.
What do you? I mean, yeah, it will only work with TV, but it's just Android. So I mean, it's, you know, I think of my Android phone and my Google TV as pretty much almost the same devices because of, you know, they have the same underpinnings.
Yeah. One of the things I like about doing this kind of thing is the internet becomes your PVR. You don't have to record anything and worry about missing it, because for the most part, these shows are available for months. If you go to Netflix or Hulu, the only caveat is you can't watch them live when they're there. You have to wait a day or a week, depending upon what you're looking at. But there's no, I mean, remember when Myth TV was very, very popular and people were building them because they just wanted to record stuff all over the place? I don't have to record anything. I can still time shift because it's already on the internet.
I still record tons of stuff.
I do record a lot of things too. And one thing, I will say that Google TV is definitely not a replacement for your cable or satellite box. It is more of an accessory to it because of the way that it works in tandem with your satellite box and instead of it. But the third thing I wanted to show you guys about the Google TV that I really love that you might not realize that the Google TV does is AirPlay. There's an app called Airtight that you can put on your Google TV. And here's one thing that I think is really cool. It kind of blew my mind the first time that I did it. So I can take my iPad right here, and I can basically go into the camera, right, and start filming something. for just a few seconds. And then as soon as I'm done filming, I can basically take that and throw it right up on my Google TV instantly. So I can take it, I can take the very device that I used to create the video and beam it.
We saw it. It was there.
You saw it for a second. It only had a couple seconds, but and beam it instantly right to my Google TV in 1080p if I want to. To me, that's pretty amazing. I know you can do that with the Apple TV too, but a lot of people might not realize that you can do that with the Google TV as well.
That's pretty cool. One of the things about Apple TV, though, is, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know this was at least initially true, you can't watch anything but paid content on it. iTunes, Hulu Plus, Netflix. There's no web browsing built into it unless you jailbreak it. Right?
No, it's not. It's not built into it. From that perspective, you're right. But what he was just showing with AirPlay, I could pull up my iPad and do the same thing. So if I want to pull up Twitch live as they're broadcasting and then hit AirPlay on the video player, I can sit there and watch that on my big screen. That requires another device, so it's not built in like the Google TV is. But at the same time, if Google TV doesn't have a small brick like the Apple TV is, and you've got to buy the whole TV, it's not really a cost.
You don't have to buy the whole TV. I have the $99 Logitech Review connected.
Okay, that's good. That's because one of the advantages that I like with the Apple TV, and now that I know you've got that, you could do it too, is you can take this on the road with you. So if you're going someplace and you want to plug into a hotel, great. All you need to remember is bring an HDMI cable and maybe an Ethernet cable in case the Wi-Fi is not good there. Plug it in, and you can play anything you've got in iCloud for Apple or from on my iPhone or iPad. And I imagine you could do the same thing with how you stream in, as long as you've got that device there and it's got a network connection.
Right. The Apple TV is a little bit more portable. The Google TV is more the size of a small DVD player as opposed to a hockey puck like the Apple TV. But there are more and more Google TV devices coming out every day. I think Sony just announced a new one that they have coming down the pike here any day.
Cool.
I just bring my iPad and my little HDMI connector, and then I can stream from my Plex system over my iPad to wherever I am. And if they need VGA, I got that too.
So I have a prediction for Google TV. Now that Google owns Motorola, and they got the set-top box business from Motorola as well. That's part of Motorola Mobility. I think we'll start seeing Google TV integrated into set-top boxes that are provided by Verizon or various other cable companies, and I think that'd be really cool.
Even more than the phones. Yeah.
And I think we'll also see DVRs built into it. So I use Sage TV as my DVR. It's kind of a little bit better than Myth. I used to use Myth, and I've been using Sage for about 9 years. And I have 10 tuners hooked up to it, and so I can record 10 channels at once. So I have a server in my office upstairs.
How often do you record 10 channels at once?
All right, well, I'll tell you what's recording right now. That's not really that big of a night because stuff's not on. But I got like Criminal Minds recording, American Idol's recording, Happy Endings is recording, and then let me see if I can find it tonight.
Lee Kitchen is going, can I have access to your server?
Yeah, so I stream throughout I stream to all the TVs in my house. Yeah, I stream it to all my TVs, and so I've got 3 cable card tuners hooked up with FiOS, and most of the channels are marked copy freely, so I can get all my pay channels that way. I've got 2 HD PVRs, which go through Component and can record HD off set-top boxes that I have, and I've got 5 regular QAM tuners, which can record the major networks.
Can I subscribe to Veffer Plus?
Yeah, man. So I've got a 16 drive hot swap case in my office with terabytes of storage, and I record seasons of shows at a time, and I'll wait a whole season before I start watching shows sometimes to see if they get canceled. And if they don't get canceled, then I'll start watching.
So you don't get disappointed. I like that. That's a good call.
Yeah, so this is all run through Sage, and Sage got bought by Google, last July. And we still don't know exactly what they're doing, but I think it's going to be merged kind of into Google TV, and I think we'll see like this whole all-in-one set-top box, really awesome stuff coming. But that's just me guessing. But I think that's really an interesting way of them getting into our living rooms.
Do you think the cable companies are going to do the same thing with Google TV that the phone companies have done with Android and infuse their own flavor into it and really muck up the experience?
Some might, maybe. I don't know if Google might set higher standards for that, but it's inevitable at least to have their own apps or a little bit of branding, or maybe not give them the ability to completely kill everything, but allow them to put their own skin on top of it, per se. That would be acceptable, I suppose.
Right. We've definitely seen the TV manufacturers sort of doing that already. I think Vizio showed off at CES a Google TV that had sort of its own, skin on it. We'll see what happens.
I think the cable providers are probably terrified by the idea of putting that on their DVRs or their set-tops, because it won't take them long before customers figure out, hey, I don't need to subscribe to these guys anymore if I can get this box or capability someplace else. So
it's time to change the model.
The question I have, though, is...
I think they're partially in denial because they are pretty much a broadband and delivery service. Nobody cares about the email and disk space and the websites that may offer and package all that. And there's a partial denial about what people want from them. And then, they're very worried that people are going to not need them anymore for anything but being a wire.
Exactly. And you look at most of the channels that you get, in my case with Bright House or maybe with Cox Cable or whatever service that you've got, how many of them do you really watch? What percentage of all those 500 channels do you actually watch? And yet you're paying for them.
Right.
Well, but you're not really paying for a lot of them. I mean, a lot of them are just kind of bundled in for free because nobody really watches them that much. I mean, you're paying for HBO and ESPN and the ones that get the most viewership.
Those are direct, but like you said, the ones that nobody's watching, man, why are they alive?
I don't know. They come and go, right? And that's why we've seen Sci-Fi change their format a number of different times.
Yeah, when's the last time MTV played a music video?
Right.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that you said that the Google TV is as big as a PVR because I bought a Roku because it was not as locked as Apple TV was. It was only the Roku was only like $55 or $95. They're almost stocking stuffers at Christmas time because they're fanless small computers is what they are, and they allow people to create their own channels. I will have a Vidcast network channel on it this year too. And you can't do that with the other two as easily. So it's an interesting little device, I think, is the Roku.
Yeah, the Roku is very neat. I used to have a Roku too. I personally don't like the direction Roku is headed. To tell you the truth, with the $50 device, I don't like the fact that it doesn't have an Ethernet port on the back of it. I think it encourages people to just go with the Wi-Fi and be fine with that. And in my experience, these things almost always work better when you have a wired connection versus wireless. Maybe I just have lousy Wi-Fi, but I always have a hard time streaming things on a consistent level with just a wireless device. And so now you have to get the $99 Roku, and it's HDMI out only. They used to have a component video out connector on the back of it as well. So I love the size of the Roku, but I'm disappointed that you have to have an HDMI TV nowadays, and that it only comes with an Ethernet port if you get the most expensive one.
Danielle, you said that you've cut your cable cord, right?
Indeed, I have. We haven't had cable for well over a year, maybe closer to 2.
How are you making up for that?
We just do Hulu, Netflix, stream it through a media center. I usually just watch it on my laptop, catch up on things a couple of days, past the original air date, but honestly, it really hasn't been much of a trial.
So this question's for everybody then. Is internet television pretty much Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon Video on Demand, or are there some other options as well?
Well, now you've got Google starting to get into it a little bit with the YouTube movie rentals and stuff like that you can get through Google Play.
Mm-hmm.
And who else?
Well,
iTunes does it. You mentioned iTunes already, or?
No, I forgot about it.
Yeah, and that's where I'm getting some stuff, but it depends on, is it something that I want to keep, that I actually want to have, or if it's a movie that, maybe I didn't want to go to the theater and sit with a crowd, but I'll rent it for $5, on iTunes. I don't want to own it. I don't want to have the space taken up. But $5 to watch a movie in good quality on my home, theater system is reasonable to me.
Yep.
We also hit up Redbox for physical DVDs quite often.
DVDs? Where are those? So I just pulled up my viewing history from the last 9 years in Sage. Anybody want to take a guess of how many shows I've recorded?
How many have you watched?
I would rather
Most
have
of
you
them.
give me a percentage of the shows that you actually watched from the ones that you
Right.
recorded.
Right.
Probably 85% I'll watch.
Seriously?
That's
wow,
pretty
that's
good.
awesome.
Do you have
I
all?
don't, because I record so much stuff, and I never seem to have the time to watch everything I want. I'm usually 80% full of my DVR at any given moment, just because I want to have stuff on backup, and then I find that I end up having to drop it off the bottom because it's not big enough to hold everything that I need. So
Are you a
I don't get a chance to watch it.
Are you a digital hoarder?
Not quite. So right now I have 757 recordings available to me.
Goodness.
So
That's a lot of content.
in the last
Are
9
you
years,
are you a
does
gamer?
anybody want to guess
An
the number?
Xbox
Or
gamer?
No, I don't play that much.
Okay.
61,783 shows in
Jeez.
9 years.
So you're the why I have a slow internet connection.
And do you have all complete 7 seasons of Deep Space Nine?
No, I never watched that.
And Firefly, you got Firefly on there?
Nope. No,
Well,
once
those
I
are
watch them,
Netflix,
I don't
yeah.
keep stuff. I don't keep stuff. I delete them once I watch them.
Oh, okay.
I have no desire to keep anything. As soon as I watch it, it's gone.
Hell,
I don't like repetition. I don't
you
like
wouldn't have enough
watching
space
things
to keep everything.
Yeah, see, that's way too much work for me.
Well, that's what I was wondering about. It's like when I hear in general news media people talking about cutting the cable, they're doing it to cut out a monthly expense. But from what I'm hearing here, you guys are spending a lot more money than what that monthly cable bill is. So
Not me. I cut it, and I save $55 a month by going internet only for all of my television now.
So you didn't invest a lot of money in computer servers and disks and so forth?
No, I added a subscription to
You already had
Netflix.
that set up.
I bought a Mac Mini and things like that to run the TV, but I was going to do that anyway because I wanted to have a media setup. And that's what allowed me to cut the cord completely, because as soon as I realized I had that, and Plex allowed me to watch Twit, Colbert, Daily Show, and then a lot of anything that was on Hulu. In fact, I don't use Hulu Plus. I can watch it on Hulu. So Plex is one of the few things that will let you on my iPad and everything else watch Hulu, the free version of Hulu, because I can stream it to those devices.
And you have an antenna for the local stations?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I have an antenna for all the on-air stuff. Although I find myself not really, I find myself waiting the day or 2 or 3 rather than watching it live because it's just too inconvenient to change the channels all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch anything live. I'll start maybe, if I watch football or something, I'll start maybe an hour and a half into the game so that I can fast forward through all the commercials.
So did we cover the gambit there? Is there any device or any internet service we didn't include in this conversation?
I think you covered all the devices, but what gets me is I'm on with the Apple TV. I'm on very much with the light consumer end of it. I don't want to have to set up and configure all these things and possibly have things that might go wrong. I just want to turn it on, say, can I get this show? Boom, there it is. And plus, since I already had so much content from iTunes Store, I kind of bought into Apple's ecosystem anyways. But on the other end of it, I think you can probably spend a lot more time configuring and customizing it.
Yeah, and that was the story behind why I chose Plex too. While me being the tech guy, it took quite a while, took like 2 or 3 weekends in a row to get it completely set up and trouble-free and scraped all the individual show episodes, etc. It is set up so easy to use that my wife uses it all the time because she just takes the IR remote control, aims it at the TV, turns it on, goes to television shows, finds the show she wants, picks the season, picks the episode, and plays it. And the same thing with the movies. And then turns it off. All through. She doesn't know it's a computer there, except that it's visually dresser, and that's about it.
And she shouldn't. And that's in my living room. That's the experience I want. I don't want to have to think about all the technical aspects behind it. I just know that I want to watch, season 3 of 24 without commercials, and I can just go day by day and get in there.
And you can achieve that, but it takes time and effort to set that up. And about every 8 or 10 months, I have to go fix something on it that an update broke or something like that. So,
Hmm.
but it takes a while to set that up so to the point where it's that invisible, but it can be done. That's why I'm doing it. That's what made me cut the cable when my wife knew she could watch television without it.
Hey,
And what's your... I'm sorry, go ahead.
So, William, when you watch the whole season of 24 in one day, do you not go to the bathroom just like Jack Bauer?
No, I push pause.
I always wondered about that, when he used a bathroom and when he ate actual food, like meals, because he never eats meals either.
Whenever they switch to President Palmer, that's when you know he's either in the bathroom or picking up a Big Mac.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask you a little bit more about that Plex because it sounds interesting. So you don't really actually maintain. You're saying you don't maintain any of these files on your any servers at all. You just point to them basically, and by you pointing to them, it basically creates a little library or database of your shows and movies.
Yeah, well, Plex has a little SQL database associated with it, and it just streams media, and media can be one of several types. It can be a movie file of half a dozen extensions. It can be a music file or a photo, and it can be what's called a stream file, STRM. And an STRM is mostly a URL, and the URL is there's a built-in WebKit browsing system in Plex, and it uses that to play the URL, and it's smart enough to understand the basic components of where is the video in that URL and display that. Sometimes the controls don't work depending upon what you do. You may not be able to change the volume, go fast forward, but you can always go there, watch the video, and then stop the video. And it gives you plugins for things like Justin TV, Ustream, etc. And those tend to work well with the forwards and the stops and the pauses. And there's instructions on how to write your own. So if I decided I wanted to spend a huge amount of honking time writing how to do it against some other site that was doing a flash media player of some sort, I could do that because the instructions are there about here's how you draw, here in the GUI is how you specify the XY coordinates and how big the pause area is for when the mouse is there. That's the pause button and that's the stop button. And so that's how that works, and it works pretty well.
But since that sounds interesting, I'm going to have to try it out a little bit. Although I will say that it sounds a little bit geeky and not for maybe everybody.
A little bit.
Well, I didn't do any of that.
Right, but you're saying even to set up the URLs themselves, you have to kind of go in there and individually, paste the URLs in and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, that's where the tediousness came in for me, but I knew it was going to pay off in the long run because I didn't want to use Hulu or Netflix by going to the Hulu app and then clicking browse and going through the alphabet or the genre and finding the thing I wanted and then playing it, which is how it works on almost every other device. I wanted simply to go to television shows and see a clean intermix of my video files and my stream URL pointers and things like that. I don't care what the content source was. I just wanted them to all be intermixed, sorted in alphabetical order with all the cool graphics and captions and everything. And if you select play, it goes to the right place and plays it. To do that, I had to use a little program that somebody wrote called PlexFlix, which allows you to pull that information out of Hulu and Netflix and set that up. So I spent a very tedious 3-day weekend for several hours a day plugging in things into my my Netflix instant queue, and when I filled it up, I went over and then used this app and said, okay, now capture all that and spread all that out and figure out what you're going to do with it. Hulu was the tougher one because I did that at the time when Hulu still allowed an RSS feed on your queue. So I would fill up, but the RSS feed only accepted 25 items at a time. So I would put 25 items in there, then I would go capture it, then I'd go kill that, put another 25 items in there. And I did that for about 100 shows. I did it for all my favorite shows. Now Hulu got smart, and now they've eliminated the queue, the main queue, but more than that, they've eliminated the RSS feed on that queue. So the only way for you to get stuff is to do the individual RSS feeds of shows. And even then, you're only going to see the latest 25 episodes. The RSS feed doesn't go back in time further than that. So it's a lot harder now. And
you don't have any search capabilities. You can just list the things that you've added to your library.
Yeah, well, you give it RSS feeds for Hulu. Netflix, it just uses your instant queue, so it's whatever you plug in your instant queue. It's just
Right. Okay. Right.
but it does movies and television shows, and Hulu it only does television shows, and you have to feed it RSS feeds. So you can give it an RSS feed of something that's updated frequently, like Saturday Night Live, and when a new Saturday Night Live episode appears in the RSS feed, it appears at the top usually.
Right.
The system will see that and automatically add it based on an interval I've set up. To the system, and then it'll show up as a little new flag that there's a new episode in there that I haven't seen yet, and it works pretty well. It doesn't work flawlessly. Sometimes I have to go manually kick it, but it's much better than doing cut, paste, captures, and at least there's automated tools for doing most of this.
Right. Sounds very cool.
Well, Keith, we're getting questions from the chat room basically saying we need to see a photo or video tour of your setup.
The studio setup or the home theater setup?
Your home theater setup. That'll be your next weekend project.
Well, unfortunately, right now, my home theater is in shambles because we haven't spent any time in setting it up. So we do most of our television watching right now on the bedroom TV. So we have the Mac Mini and everything all kind of connected up there. So it's not really impressive to go see that. But you know what I'll do is as we build the theater, we'll film it and then I'll show that.
All right. Cool.
There you go.
Come on, you want to take us into your bedroom.
That's all right. We're good.
So, guys, that's an hour. We filled an hour again.
All right.
Amazingly. Thank you all for coming. It was a great show, and I have a little bit of editing to do, so I'm sorry about that. Some of the live audience might have seen some videos that didn't switch, but we have it all captured. So the video, when it's put up, will be clean and have everything in it. So I just want to thank everybody, and we'll see you again next week. And good night, everybody. We're all set.
Tech Plus.
Thanks, Keith. Thanks very much.
Good night.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
You were saying you watch Twit through the Chrome browser on your Google TV?
Yeah.
But there's actually an app you can get. It's like $1 that'll
really?
stream it. Yeah. And you can also use Ustream.
Yeah, I've used Ustream in the past to do it.
They have their lounge, the Ustream lounge thing.
That works on the Google TV?
Yeah, and it's not an app, but I think it's a web page or something.
Yeah, Plex has a free app for that.
But it's designed to be,
See, again, with Plex, I can watch it on Plex and stream it to any device I want. I don't need the apps.
So you watch Twit via Plex?
Yeah.
And are you able to watch then Vidcast Network via Plex as well, or you would have to go through there and set some things up?
No, because Plex is not aware how to stream Vidcast. I can if I go to the Justin TV or the Ustream plugin.
Do it via that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I can go if I don't know how well you can see this, but and I probably can't play it right now because my wife is watching it upstairs. But if I back out of this, one of the things you can see. These are all the plugins that are in Plex, and there's a Twit plugin. I don't know if this is going to work, but
so does that play the live stream, or does that give you a list of choices?
It does both. It does both. I don't know if it's going to work right now because I'm probably screwing up my wife right now. But yeah, I just hit play for the Twit. There it is. There's Twit Live.
Pretty cool.
With no app.
And then on the TV side of things, how do you use Plex on the TV?
I use it. I have an IR remote control. It's
the Mac Mini, you said.
Yeah, Mac Mini runs my television. This is all software running on my Mac Mini because it initially only came out for Mac Minis, but now now you can run it. They've set it up to be a server client setup now, so you can put the server in one place, and you usually put it on the system that's fast and can stream and has access to all your media files. And the client can be anything from an iPad to an Android phone to a Roku to another Mac. I have them both running on the same box right now. A Mac Mini is just barely strong enough to do both at the same time, streaming to the iPad and my television upstairs. I don't think I can do much more than that. But the cool thing about it is it will stream whatever it can get access to, including another stream.
Right, that is cool, yeah. I've got the Plex server set up on my laptop, but what happens to me is that I'll have my laptop in the bag or something like that, right? And so in that case, the Plex server's not running, and I don't know, it just makes it easier for me to stream things.
I'll give you I'll give you the headache downside. This is all free too. The downside on this though is that because of the way Hulu operates all the time, the Hulu app breaks frequently. It breaks once or twice a year, and then you don't have Hulu for like 2 or 3 weeks until somebody fixes it.
Well, and now you pay for Hulu, right?
No, I do not. I use the.
You don't. You're using the Hulu.com, not Hulu Plus.
Yep. I just use the Hulu app on Plex, which is free. It uses the free Hulu, and then I stream that to any device I want. So on Roku, I can watch free Hulu.
Wow. Well, I'll have to play with that a little bit more for sure.
But the thing you end up doing with the Plex system is it's sort of like Myth TV. There's a lot of little niggly things to it, and it takes a while to get it all working. I spent a whole weekend once debugging it when something stopped working. But once you have it working, and I tell it don't do automatic updates anywhere, I sort of freeze it, and then it works fine for almost a year. You know, I never have to bother with it again for a year. And then something else. Well, Hulu's always changing stuff, you know, so they almost always break.
It drives me crazy that the trend nowadays is to kill RSS feeds on things that used to have RSS feeds.
Yeah, and there are tools, by the way, that if you have, I didn't get into this in this show. I certainly didn't want to talk about BitTorrent or anything like that. But if you have RSS feed sources for television shows as they're posted and new things like that, there are apps for Plex and other things that will take those RSS feeds and handle the all the work behind it, whatever you're doing with it. So
if like CBS puts a show out a day later and then publishes an RSS feed or something like that?
Well, theoretically you could. I mean, there is a CBS app in Plex that I do use to watch Big Bang Theory, but there's some things that get screwed on. For example, there is no app for TV Land, and we sort of like to watch Hot in Cleveland, and we can't watch. I have to go to the website to do that. So the Mac Mini is a computer, so I can shrink my Plex system down, do a full screen browser, and watch it. Or if I ever had the time, or somebody else had the time, they could theoretically write a player for that and have it work. The commercial sites are harder because they're designed to thwart that. So you know they have commercials that kick in and out, and the screens may go full screen. The Disney one's the worst one. Have you ever tried to watch stuff on the Disney Channel website? If you go full screen with it, when your show's over, it drops back to small screen. It doesn't stay full screen anymore. And when a commercial comes on, it doesn't just ghost out the controls on the player. It ghosts out the entire website. You can't even leave the website or click anything. So so some are more challenging than others. But the cool thing about it is they give you a little program. There's a wiki for all this. They give you an ability to write your own players for stuff. And so if you don't like if something that isn't out there that you want, or you don't like what's there, you do have the power if you have enough technical skills to go in and solve that for yourself.
Right. And the Roku is similar in that regard too, right? I know I was able to put my Roku into development mode and even start to go through the process of seeing what it took to develop an app. And I mean, it's not that complicated. It's I think for the most part HTML, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't even have to put yourself in development mode to do that. You can create, I think it's an XML or something like that. You can create your own Roku channel that on your own website, and then you go to the Roku website, your own account, and then you register that channel.
Right.
And that allows you to go to your Roku device and play that channel. So you can create your own channels, or Vidcast Network could have a channel and say, here's how you add my channel, and go do that. And then Vidcast Network could be on that. Or you can do something that's cleverer in that you can go to Mediafly. I think there's two services as well. Mediafly is a free service that does aggregation of this stuff. They just need an RSS feed of your videos. And it has to be a certain XML format. And they will take it, and they will create a channel for you on all Roku devices. You know, so you don't have to tell people, here's how you add me. If they have Mediafly and Twit is on Mediafly.
Well, they used to be. They ended their relationship with Mediafly, I believe.
They did because the broadcasting live to the Roku
okay.
is too expensive. Not the videos are free. RSS feeds through Mediafly are free.
I
So
see. It was the
as
live
long as
stuff.
you're hosting content that's already exists, it's all free and it's easy to do. As soon as you start doing streaming, it becomes very difficult. Trey Radcliffe has screensaver photos on Roku that you can download and watch.
Right.
He has a Google TV app too, I think.
Does he? I didn't know that.
Or no, you know what? That other app he has is Google TV compatible. The one that does the slideshow, basically.
Yeah. So I mean, this stuff when Plex reached the point where I knew I could watch Hulu and Netflix on it, and it was IR remote control compatible because it uses the Apple remote control in my particular case. I knew I could switch to it and dump cable. So I've been off of cable for 4 years at least. I was a very early cutter. Yeah.
But you said you're not a sports guy.
No, that's another reason I was able to do it.
Right.
Yeah,
For
I
me,
wouldn't be able to give up my football.
Right. For me, it's not even NFL type in professional sports as much as it is things like college sports. You know, little channels like Sports South and stuff that end up having a little regional game on a Friday night or something like that ends up being great.
Hey, so Chris, I pasted a link to that Google TV Twit app.
Yeah, I think I just downloaded it actually.
I just realized we actually did a 50 or 55-minute show, not an hour show.
Yeah, I was gonna say we ended early.
Yeah, we ended a little early. That's all right. Most of the time we end late, so we ended a little early. Yeah, and I couldn't see the chat room. I didn't know if the chat room probably would have pointed this out to me, so I didn't see it. But when we were doing the introductions, the video didn't switch off of me. So, but it obviously will be in the Hangout recording, the on-air Hangout. So.
Well, it depends on who you had clicked, because if you
No,
force somebody.
I don't think I had anybody clicked there.
Oh, all right.
I think it was just. I mean, I can, even if it didn't, I can do stuff with the thumbnails. It just will be less attractive.
Well, I mean, so how does that work? You're really supposed to be the switcher in that role? I mean,
Well, if you manually switch, it does use the manual switching, but if you turn off the manual switch, it does use the auto switching.
The automatic. But if you click on somebody, you got to click on them again in order to get it to go back to auto again.
Danielle, you look so serious right now.
I'm looking at Flex stuff, actually. Plex stuff.
We've intrigued you, eh?
You have. I'm actually kind of. I'm sold.
It's sort of like Myth TV. The rite of passage for Plex is in getting it set up and working flawlessly and things like that.
I'm not afraid of doing that.
No. Well, it only gets complicated when you get to the streaming to other devices part, and Hulu is picky. Everything else pretty much runs right out of the box.
Yeah, I've heard so many people rave about it, and then I actually had to purchase it on the Google TV. I think it was $4 or $5 or something, which was no big deal. But I used it and I was okay, great. I've got a few videos on my computer. Now what? And so I never really dove into it to see what it was capable of.
Oh, let's see what's on Twit Photo.
Well, guys, I got to end this Hangout, so I don't have any problems with this video.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. You got another Hangout coming on, don't you?
I got one at 11 too. Yes, I need a little.
Man,
break.
I don't know how you do that, Keith. You stay up until you said like 3 o'clock in the morning tonight.
Well, that's Thomas Hawk's fault though, because his show starts at 11.
Yeah.
So that show lasts until 12 or 12.
After show.
As an after show. What's going to happen is I'm not going to participate in the after shows anymore because they're too long. I'll just start up and go to bed or something like that. But.
All right. Well, thanks so much, guys. Have a great night.
Thanks. Nice meeting, guys.
Bye.